Egypt is one of the most fertile regions in Africa, and one of the most fertile countries in the Mediterranean. Because of its fertility, Egypt became one of the earliest places to be inhabited by humans, some 40,000 years ago. At first there were not many people in Egypt, but over time Egypt became more and more crowded, so a unified government was needed. For a time there seemed to be two kingdoms, called Upper Egypt, in the south, and Lower Egypt, in the north. Around 3000 BC, at the beginning of the Bronze Age, the king of Upper Egypt conquered the king of Lower Egypt and made Egypt into a single kingdom called Egypt. The ruler of this kingdom was then called Pharaoh.
From that time until about 525 BC, when Egypt was conquered by the Persians, Egyptian history is divided into 6 periods. In the Old Kingdom, 2686–2160 BC, the Egyptians began to build pyramids as tombs for the pharaohs. Then in 2200 BC there seemed to be a change in climate, and Egypt was split into many small kingdoms. This is called the First Medieval Period, 2160–2040 BC. In 2040 BC, the pharaohs managed to reunite Egypt to later establish the Middle Kingdom, 2040 to 1633 BC, but the pharaohs of the Middle Kingdom were not as strong as the pharaohs of the Old Kingdom, and they stopped building pyramids. Around 1800 BC, the pharaohs of the Middle Kingdom lost power again. This is called the Second Medieval Period, 1786 to 1558 BC. During the Second Medieval Period, the Hyksos from the north invaded Egypt and temporarily controlled Lower Egypt. The Hyksos had horses and chariots, and the Egyptians quickly learned how to use horses and chariots. Around 1500 BC, the Egyptian pharaohs of Upper Egypt succeeded in expelling the Hyksos and reuniting Egypt in a single state called the New Kingdom, 1558 to 1085 BC. This period is mentioned in the Bible and the Quran, which is about the oppression of the children of Israel, the Jews, by the Egyptians. At the end of the Bronze Age, there was a general crisis throughout the eastern Mediterranean and Western Asia.